Government Code, Texas. Those about, notices to hereby given to all interested persons, City Council, City of Odessa, Texas. This is a special workshop on Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 at 4:05 p.m. City Hall, 5th floor, Council Chambers. Today's topic is going to be discussing the ARPA funding options. This is a notice that has been posted, and you're going to be doing a presentation?
Yes, sir.
You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
Yes. My name is Matt McGee. I am the new controller for the City of Odessa. Thank y'all for taking time out of y'all's day to be here. As mentioned, I'm gonna go over some of the recent coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, also known as the SLFRF or the ARPA funds. Quick refresher, what are the SLFRF funds? It's just a federal program that is intended to provide support in state, territory, local, and governments in response to the COVID-19. As of December 2022, there was 4 main categories on which we could use these funds for. The first one is going to be revenue replacement. Second, we have COVID-19 expenditures or negative economic impacts of COVID-19. Third, we have premium pay for essential workers, and I will note that most of the funds that we have received for the ARPA funds are currently appropriated to this, to the premium pay for essential workers. We are also allowed to invest in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. I do want to note that there is a timeline for the use of the SLFRF funds. You must have your costs. They have to have been incurred between March 3rd of 2021 and December 31st of 2024. We also have to have that money spent by December 31st of 2026. If we do not use these funds, if we have not obligated them by those timelines, we must return the funds back to the Treasury. Here's a snapshot as of October 31st, 2023 of where the funds, basically what's going on with the funds. As you can see, we have received roughly 17.1 million in SLFRF funds. We have appropriated all 17.1 million. And you can see the line items where we have appropriated the funds. As previously mentioned, a majority of the funds have been appropriated to payroll reimbursement. This is mainly public safety. We do have a few other line items that are all COVID related, such as testing, vaccinations, personal protective equipment, stuff of that nature that's all COVID related. We do also have a few line items that are related to the hospital. This is going to cover funds for our frontline workers that are dealing COVID on a day-to-day basis. It covers their labor cost. As you can see, we have, out of the 17.1 million, we have expensed 5 million of it so far, so there's roughly 12 million left of ARPA funds.
Hang on, Matt. Mayor, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, this is a discussion.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
when we're looking at here, I've seen Odessa Regional Medical Center. We keep saying that there's $1 million going to Odessa Regional Medical Center. I spoke to the hospital. That never happened.
No.
They started the application.
And then they quit.
Well, no, they did not. There was never a follow-through by the past administration.
Okay.
Okay.
There was no application, there was no follow-up. It all just died in the initial, the applications weren't signed or anything. There was this illusion that the money's been committed, and the former city manager specifically said that we needed a release from the hospital. So I called them. They said, that never happened, we never received the money. We're still showing an expenditure for $1 million when they never received it, it was never even obligated. We took a vote, and I think that we here in the council obligated $1 million for ORMC, and then the $3 million for MCH.
Yes, sir.
So in the obligation happened on the vote, but the follow-through never happened. So, you know, so it was obligated in that sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but let's be clear that the thing is that the money was never issued
Never
at all,
went anywhere.
never went anywhere.
So
Good question. That always seems to be the $1 million question.
Well, that's $1 million, so where's the money?
Yeah, well, I do believe we can, de-obligate the funds and tie them to one of the other line items. So if it's something that y'all are saying that, you know, it's never been expensed and we never used it, you know, we can go back and de-obligate the funds. and
So we can
appropriate it
make that
somewhere else.
adjustment?
Yes, we should be able
My
to.
my understanding, Mayor, was from that deal is that because they're a private hospital, for-profit, they had some other hoops they had to jump through, and it was taking too much of their time. Now, that's the word I got back.
Well, and they
And
weren't
why it
gonna
was
be able,
never-
and they weren't gonna be able to get the receipts to prove that
Right,
the money was
right.
spent.
That's what I understood.
If you recall, the former city manager did not want to support the MCH, and I'm just gonna flat out say this, cause I'm to the point where I'm just so frustrated with everything. He supported ORMC, because he felt that they were gonna be a contractor, and it'd be a lot easier for ORMC to be able to get us receipts. So it was, Councilman Compton made the motion for $3 million for the MCH.
Yes, sir.
And that's how we wound up doing MCH, and we did $1 million for ORMC. And it turned out that MCH was able to do the receipts. And let me tell you, ORMC never even got to that point because they never got past the application process, which was a surprise to me because I was under this assumption being told by the former city manager that the money had been, when they said obligated and put forward, I thought that it was in the pipe and they had the hold of the money. He then basically came out with, well, it seems like they're gonna have a harder time to be able to do the receipts.
Right.
And so, but the thing is, it never got to that point,
Mhm.
so, you know, it was just no communication. And so when I wound up talking to, Ms. Brown, she clarified it very clearly that, no, sir, we never got to that point. There was a point with the initial application, and it stayed that way. But we were always kept in this, I guess, in a position of knowing that the money had already been obligated, and that we had to get this formal letter, and she had no idea what that process was, because it didn't exist.
So Mayor, what we'll do
Uh-huh.
is we will do an agenda item for next, Tuesday.
Do we have to address that specific issue?
I would, and
Okay.
basically de-obligate it from, ORMC, the ARPA funds is what we can do.
What about the MCH? We did obligate it,
And
we did issue it, then we got refunded.
We got paid back now.
So do we have to do the same process there?
No, I mean, that's, I don't believe we do.
Okay.
But you're talking about taking $1 million that's supposed to go to ORMC and putting it back in the pile.
Because this council
So-
took a vote on that.
That's what we need, that's
Well,
what.
it was previous council. Previous
Right.
council had done that, yeah.
That had obligated the money
Yes.
to them.
Yeah.
That we need to de-obligate it, bring it back so that, Matt can do whatever, you know,
Okay.
have the appropriate.
Yeah, where the money's at is all probably in tech school. One big.
Everything's
Yeah,
in Texas.
Everything's in
Seems-
Texas.
It's in a bucket somewhere.
Yeah.
So we have the actual money, but it's someplace else.
Yes, we have
So
it.
it hasn't gone in somebody's pocket running around with it?
No, sir. No, sir.
Mr. Jones, let me see if I understood, your statement regarding the medical center money. Now, we appropriated them those funds, and then they reimbursed us back.
We
So-
gave them $3 million and they paid us back the $3 million.
Okay, so my question then would be, those $3 millions are still in the pot?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay,
They've been paid back to us.
okay.
So they're available.
It is available.
And now this $1 million that was never appropriated to ORMC is another additional $1 million
That's
In the
sitting
pot.
there that, in my mind, the best thing to do would be to de-obligate, because we are, again, this is federal money. So everything we do with federal money, we wanna be absolutely careful about.
Right.
And so I would, what we'll do is we'll do an agenda item next week that we will say, okay, we're taking it back and we're gonna just hold it in our coffers, that $1 million. And it's not intended for ORMC anymore. That make any sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
Yes,
I was
but
just-
I think he's also asking, since Medical Center has paid us back $3 million,
Right.
that would be an additional $3 million that we can add to obligate somewhere else.
Yes, that is my
That's your
understanding.
question.
Thank you.
Because yes, that is my understanding, because that check, I believe, sat there for a couple months.
So is
But-
that money
Yeah, I think you found it.
included in
Yeah.
what's left?
In a safe, yes, sir.
That $3 million?
Yeah, so right now I do have that tied into the expenditures, the 3 million. Our total expenditures are reporting around 5 million, but if we do back that out of it, you know, we've only spent around 2 million out of the 17 million.
And Matt, I would say, and my 2 cents is that I would make sure that we do actually have the money, you know, that 3 million is back in there. And if that's
Yes.
the case, then we're only out 2 million then.
Yes, I'll double check
I
on
would
that.
believe that would be correct,
I'll double
Yeah.
check that.
but we should double check it.
Only out 2 million, I'm sorry, I didn't follow that part.
For total expenditures, if that, would that be correct if we've been paid the 3 million back?
Right.
Mhm.
We have been.
Mm-hmm.
Cause the check's set in the vault for 2 or 3 months, and then, so we would only be out 2 million total expenditures.
Yes, correct.
So we would probably have 15 million.
15 still available.
And not the 12.
Yes, correct.
as we
12.
discussed.
12 and 1 is 13, and that
16.
3 back is 16.
Yeah,
16,
we should have
That's right, I'm
16.
just trying to get
We
the
should
math.
have, yeah.
Yeah, his math is incorrect.
He's
Yeah,
from
my
Mississippi.
math's incorrect.
He's from Mississippi, he's been licking the, he's
Yeah.
been licking the
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah. No, I
We should
wasn't
have a
even.
total of 4 million, because we never
Yeah.
allocated the 1 million.
Right.
It never
And we
went
got the
out,
3
and we
million
got
back.
the 3 million back, so we should have 4 million somewhere, and if we don't, could you let us know, please?
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah,
and
just,
see exactly
just
where.
track it down.
Yes, I'll do that. No problem at all.
That, you're right, Councilman, that is
15
16 million,
Or
yeah.
16 million, yeah.
Yeah, I went to public school in Mississippi, so.
Ah.
okay.
That's a problem.
Math's a good,
That's University of
Yeah,
Mississippi.
old Miss Greg.
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll double check that, look what's going on with the hospital funds and get you guys, some definitive answers on that, and we can definitely go from there and see exactly what we have. I do wanna mention that as of September of 2023, there has been a rule change, and there's gonna be 3 new eligible uses on which we can use these funds for. The first one is spending to provide emergency for natural disasters. The second one is gonna be spending on surface transportation, infrastructure eligible projects. Digging into this one a little bit more, the rule set up to where we have 3 different pathways we can go. Basically, there's gonna be projects that are currently receiving funds from the Department of Transportation. There's gonna be projects that are not receiving funds from the Department of Transportation that are being overseen by the Treasury. And then third, you can repay, I believe I don't know if it's TIFIA or TIFIA loans to satisfy non-federal share requirements for project under eligible grants. So going back to the first 2, the projects that are receiving funds from the Department of Transportation, what's going on there is funds can be used to expand current projects, or if there's an additional cost, we can go ahead and pull ARPA funds and cover these additional costs, or we can use the funds for the expansion of the project. This is all stuff that we do have to consult with the Department of Transportation before we make any of these decisions. There's also, if we do know that we have a project coming up and we will receive funds from the Department of Transportation by December of 2024, but we just have not received those funds yet. Basically what it's saying is, let's say the project is 30 million and we do know we're gonna receive 25 million, that remaining 5 million, we can pull that from the ARPA funds. That's if we have not received any, funding from the Department of Transportation yet. And they have the rules set up, and like I said, we have to reach out to them, Department of Transportation, and they kind of line us up and approve everything and make sure we're on the right path. Projects that have not been funded by the Department of Transportation and will be overseen by the Treasury, they basically have two options. The Treasury knows that we do have the deadline of December of 2024, so they're giving us a streamlined option and a non-streamlined option to kind of hurry up the process, whichever we decide. The streamlined option, we do not have to reach out to Treasury before we actually begin the project, but the project must qualify under what they call the RAISE program, and it typically complies with Title 23, 40, and 49. From what I was reading, is these are more considered less risky projects. So the Treasury is allowing us to use ARPA funds for this. The non-streamlined option, it's basically anything that falls outside of the RAISE program. Title 23, 40, and 49, we can use funds, but we have to send a letter of intent to the Treasury, let them know our plans and let them know what's going on, and from there they will approve it, and you know, we can start using funds for that as well. Let's see, that's pretty much how that's gonna work. If it's something that if we do decide to move forward with that, you know, I probably will get with the engineers, see what we have going on, see what we have, plans are coming up, and we can kind of dig through that and, you know, figure out what we're gonna do with that. One of the other eligible uses that we can use is spending on programs, projects, or services that would also be eligible under the HUD Community Development Block Grant Program. So we have those 3 new options that we can use the ARPA funds for. I also do want to mention that if we do use one of these 3 new options, we're only allowed to use up to 10 million. We're not allowed to use all the amount of money we have. It's capped out at 10 million. And then also the deadline for these new projects is going to be September 30th of 2024 or 2026 instead of December of 2026 like the other funds. So there's kind of a little bit of change going on there.
I'm sorry, does that mean started, finished, what?
I believe we just have the funds have to be appropriated, and
So we bid something appropriate, okay.
yes,
Okay.
as long as we have it all planned out
Got
and the funds, yes. That pretty much wraps up the 3 new eligible uses. There are a few restrictions on the funds. Funds allocated to states cannot be used directly or indirectly to offset tax reductions or delay a tax or tax increase. And funds cannot be deposited into any pension fund. So those are the couple restrictions that we are seeing. And I just wanted to note that all this information can be found in the Department of Treasury website. We do have a portal with the Department of Treasury where we communicate these numbers. And that's where I built the chart that I showed you guys previously. Those are the numbers that have been submitted to the Treasury, and that just keeps us on the same page. That's all I have at the moment.
Okay. Does anybody happen to remember when we had, during the retreat, we had the list of projects? I thought I had it back over here, but I don't.
The road project?
Yeah, it was road projects.
Yep, it's in,
It's in an email. Anybody recall?
yeah.
I have it printed at home, actually.
I know.
Well, I have it printed out too.
We don't have it printed out. The only thing is, none of us have it here.
I can pull it up right here.
So what was the retreat?
I don't even remember.
August,
August
it was
one,
August.
We slept since then.
August first.
August 1st?
First or second.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in July.
So, just Mayor, just FYI, just so y'all know, cause I don't know if you know this or not, just, and I've asked MPO and Joe to get us on the agenda for the 28th. MPO is asking us if we want to do the freeway overpass at 87th instead of at 56.
Yeah.
And both, we have 36 million, TxDOT's got 36 million allocated for that project. And so I think that's one that we all need to look at real hard. If we can put an extra 5 million on that, then we might be able to get the service roads and all those people out there, councilman, can get in and out of your district, because the 100th Street, the 87th Street, there's no way out. And if that freeway, if that overpass isn't there, all they can do is go out and turn to the south, go down, flip around, and, you know, that's danger way. That's just something I wanna throw out there, cause
Joe?
I haven't had a chance to report that to y'all, and so I was gonna do it on the 28th, since this has come up. You agree with that, Joe? I think I'm close.
Where are we at on the, we're under budget on the quadrant?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, right now.
There's a possibility we got about 4 there?
We should be getting 2 to 3 back, I would hope.
Okay. So the thing is that, I like for the council to consider spreading this money around.
Yeah.
We're gonna come under budget on that quadrant, it's already in District 2.
Well, I have some more.
I agree that, you know, we need to flip 56 to 87th, because that's moving a lot faster. But I
Yeah.
wanna dedicate another 5 from the ARPA, just take whatever's left over right there, it's already in District 2, move that over like that, then we'll see where was left off, because we need to spread this money around as much as possible. We got infrastructure, we got water, sewer, and roads. that
And
we
we
need to
also have,
address.
we know all the difficulties that we've had trying to develop that land on Rochester. It's just so expensive to do the infrastructure there, nobody can do affordable housing because of the cost.
Is that a possibility, you know?
Couldn't we use this
In
for that?
looking at that, because, you wanna explain what we're looking at infrastructure there, there's
That'd be,
water and
that'd be
sewer.
a HUD
That
project.
would be a head.
We
That
could
could
do
be a
that,
HUD
we could do
project.
that through the HUD.
You wanna tell them about your, the cost on Rochester Avenue down there, the property with that?
Yeah, I didn't bring those numbers, but a big
Just
part
give
of
the
the,
ballpark.
yeah, big part of
I
the
like it.
cost is the water, sewer and
Yeah.
streets into that project. It was,
2.1, why am I thinking 2.1?
It was about $2 million.
it was about $2
Yeah.
million, just for the infrastructure.
So what is it, it's for site preparation for pad, or is it to
For
bring
this-
utilities to that location?
Bringing utilities into it, serving all the lots, and constructing the internal streets.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it's not just water and sewer, it's all that?
No,
It's all that,
Okay.
yes.
I was gonna say, that's expensive just for,
So what I've always been told is that, once they do that, it's gonna cost about $35,000 per lot. So they can't include that to the house, the cost of the house, because then it won't be affordable, so then nobody can move into those houses over there. So they rather spend that money in the north side or the east side,
yeah,
where they can get that money back.
yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense whenever you're trying to make a profit, that's
Yeah.
why it's,
So you're
that's why we
basically,
need this.
so you're
this
basically
road.
saying is that we could use this ARPA funds going through the HUD project to offset and
Offset
keep it,
that
and
cost and
keep
keep
it,
it.
keep
Cost,
it, okay.
So, I think, we had talked about Habitat for Humanity.
Right.
That's what we talked about, that they would like to be involved in that project. I don't know if that's on the table or not, but.
I'm sure.
Do you remember Denise?
I'm sure they have.
Who's that?
Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat. They couldn't do the roads and infrastructure.
They couldn't do
But
the
if
roads
it was
and
already in
infrastructure.
place, then they were interested in building the houses.
So we're talking, Joe's, we're talking roads?
Water and
Water and
sewer
sewer.
for Rochester.
Is there a limit on this amount for the HUD program that we could spend in the ARPA?
No,
funds?
no more than 10,
Yeah, 10 million, and you can spread it out, but yes, 10 million.
So 2.1
yeah.
wouldn't be a bad deal.
Yeah.
Habitat, I've talked to them, they are interested in the project, it was just that additional expense.
Right, because I know they called me and I brought it to the council, so I know they're still interested in doing it.
Yeah,
This is Rochester,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then we're looking at, the 87th Bridge.
That would sure be one of my concerns. I think
That's East Loop.
East Loop.
And let's just say, for example, there's 2 million from the Fadre. And so you need an additional 2 from ARPA. That gives you 4.
the Fadre funds won't be available till the project is complete, so
Yeah,
that's,
which is when,
we're still a year away.
yeah. And so when's the project for the bridge going?
It's, I
Money
mean,
right now.
When do you have to have the money in place?
For the bridge, that I'll have to get with Cameron on.
yeah, we gotta get the camera out. But all I know is that if we swap them, it doesn't slow down
Right,
either one of them.
Yeah, you just have to take that, you have to take that action. You need a resolution from the council for that.
Right, yeah, and that's why I asked John to put that on the, agenda for the 28th, right?
Yeah.
Talk to Joe about it.
Yeah, so that we can get it, so all y'all can see what I see. There's $36 million allocated for that freeway from Yukon to 338.
right.
And so, that, to me, that's a really worthy project, because there's so much, when Windmill Crossing gets finished out there, it's, you know, it's just gonna be a lot more people.
So
Yeah.
part of these funds though, the project has to be finished, correct? By, no, somebody saying, did the,
Just has to be, or just.
We're talking about
Just
what?
allocate.
yeah,
For the ARPA funds?
yeah, for
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
okay.
allocated, they don't have to be finished. So if we vote on a road for 4 million and say they can't get to us for another year, at one time that was a topic of discussion, that the road has to be finished within a time frame. in order for us to get that money. Is that
This,
still,
this says here, recipient may only use funds to cover the costs incurred during the period beginning March third, 2021, ending December 31st, 2024. Recipients must expend all funds by December
2026?
2026.
That was my.
So we're good, 3 years.
And that's the question. The question is we need to know the timetable for the bridge.
Right.
Because it has to be finished before December
Yeah.
31st, 2026.
We can,
before they use the
we can
funds.
obligate it, but we also have to watch it. We can de-obligate it, but we have to do it within the timeline before we hit the limit. Then if that project can't be completed within that time frame, then that 2 million, we'll have to pay it back. So,
We can ask Cameron to address that on the 28th
That's
when he
what I'd
comes.
like to do,
so
Joe, yes.
that's why I think we need to be careful that we don't commit 4 million. We take whatever left over from the Fadre project, already been allocated in District 2, you keep it in there, and then it goes over to District 4, and it splits it between that, and you do the bridge, and then we'll look at whatever's left over in the residual from the ARPA funds. It's just working Tetris real quick. And so that way, we're working with a smaller amount, and we need to have to move it. Cause I mean, the thing is that if we see that it can't be finished within that time, we allocate that 2 million, we can move it somewhere else. Replace a project and rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. Okay, so so we're looking at about 36 million that TechDOT put in for the bridge, right?
Yes, that's right.
And let's just say roughly, we may fall in with another additional 2 million from the contingency, a project that we can move over, and then the 2 in the ARPA. So that's basically right there is 4.1, and we said we got 16, right? 16 mil?
That we haven't spent?
Yeah.
We have to
We had
spend.
16 that we have to allocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us down roughly to about 12.
Yeah, but we just need to make sure our numbers are correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do that.
Well, we know we got the check, we seen the check was laying there for months, in the safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then we know that the million was never allocated, yeah, so,
But I will tell you, I'm sorry, Mayor, but I will tell you that if we commit that money to that overpass, TxDOT will move it up for us, right, Joe?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
cause they
that'll
like.
help us.
yeah,
You
we'll,
want us to leverage that?
yeah,
Yeah, I like leverage it.
we'll do the obligation, that's not a big deal, we just gotta watch it closely, we don't miss those deadlines and see that we're gonna, that project, when it's, projected to be finished, and it falls within that time frame for those 2 million. Cause we don't wanna wind up in the end saying that we missed it, then we have to repay those, and now we have to take it from another project way down the line.
Well, we just need to ask TxDOT, in my opinion, Joe, that we don't, that they don't, when they take those bids, that firm that did that Yukon Bridge, I don't think we want them. One,
Yeah, we don't want
one
them.
is a bad job, and two, they're really slow.
It's starting to look like a bridge
Yeah.
finally.
They're horrible.
They're slow.
3 million.
Yeah, they would look like they were doing it by hand, craftsmanship, chipping it out of the hand. God, it just took
And now
forever.
the same contractor's working on 80, so.
The same contractor
They
also
also
gonna service
the
our own agents.
Egyptians built theirs a lot faster and a lot bigger.
Just want ones that don't move when you're sitting on it.
Yeah, we don't want a trampoline, we got one of those.
Okay, so what the council wants to use in the process right now, is there anything else y'all wanna be able to?
Well, yeah,
talk about?
the payroll reimbursement here, it's just showing 1.8 million. That's not funding all the OFR raises though, is it? I thought we were talking more like $3 million for that.
That's what I thought.
Can we have numbers for that?
These numbers just aren't there.
$3 million was for that check that we took back from medical center.
No, I know, but we allocated 3 million
For the
to,
payroll.
for the payroll,
Well,
to cover it
we've
for
all-
the first 3 years.
First responders.
But we've only spent 1.8 million at this time, correct?
Correct, it's only been 3 quarters that way.
Okay, so
But
and we
shouldn't
still have,
shouldn't that be under the, at least the,
no, it's the 10,000,006 is appropriated for payroll reimbursement.
okay.
But we've only spent 1.8 out of that 10 million.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
it says as of the October 31st.
Right.
Okay, so for the testing, council appropriated 200,000, we only spent $9,000.
No.
Total
$953.
expenditures,
$953.
testing was 200,000, $953. I just rounded it up to that.
Yeah.
As Let's work with,
Just round.
we all went to
Easy
public
math.
school.
Yeah, we,
So
so,
we're gonna have to reallocate, if you start
That's what I
going
mean.
item by item, we're gonna have to reallocate. I
Yeah.
mean, we did, yeah.
That's what I mean, we have that, we have to reallocate, we have operating, PPE, $750,000, we spent, 7,200. Vaccinations, another 200,000, 1,440 was spent out of that. So, did y'all bring your calculators?
I did not.
So, lost revenue replacement, we allocated $1 million,
So far,
and they didn't spend anything.
so far, the total expenditures is $5 million of the 17 million.
It's actually only two. 'Cause we got the 3
Well, then we got the 300,
Yeah.
yeah, then we got the 3 million back, so it's
Yeah.
2 million.
Yeah, it's only two,
It's only two, yes, correct.
it's only $2 million is what's been spent.
The West Texas Food Bank is the one receiving its total allocation.
that's right.
Everybody else is just.
So what you're saying is you've got 16 million basically.
Yeah,
Basically, that's right.
well, we got 16 million, we just wind up committing, 2.1 for, the Rochester.
Right?
Then another 2,
That's,
so
District,
then the other 2 is coming from the.
District
quadrant.
1, we're looking for 2 million in,
Lottery project.
project, well, the 87th Street.
Yep.
But we'll use, for the 87th Street, we'll use the quadro.
Yeah, but
Right.
we're still at committing 2 million.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's 4, so we're down to 12 million. So now we got District 5, District 4, District 3, and Admiral. Start spending some money.
We need to, I don't wanna give it back.
That's what I'm telling you right now, you know, if you got a project there, make the commitment. What do you got? You have an art piece you wanna build? I could help myself with that. Like that in bold letters, Arizona.
So Mayor, what we will do then on the 14th next week, we'll have an agenda item on here, so are you wanting to deappropriate, deallocate all this money and kind of play with everything and kind of, and then do that, and then maybe on the 28th, Joe will have, and then maybe, end of this year, first part of next year, you can allocate again.
Yeah, Joe, let's look at what we've got in, secondary roads, stuff like that, because we know TxDOT's doing, they're gonna redo, West County North. We know they're going from 302 all the way down to, by 20, then they're going all the way to, south, 385. Now, we know that's within the 5-year plan, right? We got part of Second Street from Van Street down to Hancock on, by 20. So, let's look for secondary roads. What we have in District 3, District 3 is a lot bigger now.
Get your thing deallocated.
Then we have, let's look at, because one of the things that we need to address some of our roads. This won't go far enough, guys,
Oh,
I'm telling you
no,
right now,
definitely
you know,
won't.
so you look at roads, look at, you know, so we can do roads, water and sewer,
Yeah.
you can do HUD projects, but, yeah, but the HUD, the designated area is District 5, District 5, 3, and 1. I don't know what it is anymore, I don't know what that designation is anymore. And
Can
so,
we use any of this for any help toward the Bob Darrington?
yes,
That's it.
yes, we can, Bob Darrington,
Wastewater.
but we got a lot, we need to see what's out there, because it's all cement problems. So,
So, so Mayor, what I would suggest is that we deallocate what y'all wanted to deallocate. And then we take a little time, do study, figure out what we're looking at, maybe early part of next year, you allocate again, is what
Okay.
I would suggest.
so we're looking at the allocation of the testing money?
Yeah, all of that.
All of it.
So basically, what about the payroll?
No, I
No,
think
no.
we leave payroll alone.
So testing,
You're gonna need that.
what, other services,
Yes,
operating PPE,
yes,
vaccinations,
yes.
what about lost revenue?
You lost it.
I-
Yeah, deallocated, it's gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and center, RMC.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Mayor, what I'm gonna do is we've got testing, we're gonna leave other services as it is, or do you wanna include it? Reallocate other
Reallocate.
services?
Yeah,
And then, of course, the PPE, vaccination, officer, okay.
basically everything except
Except
Everything
in
except
West
for
Texas,
food bank and
payroll in West Texas.
And then we know what pot of money we have.
Right.
You
Yes.
guys can be looking in your districts and say, we know we wanna spend 4.1 on these two projects, or allocate for
Yeah.
it. But that still
Yeah,
leaves you
so-
another.
One of the things I wanted to do, the mayor was awful quick to reallocate my 2 million on Fodry over to District 4. So I was gonna see if I could use it for 56 from Billy Hicks to Fodry. Well, and Joe, we got the shovel ready right now. What's that, what did Kim and Mark come up with on that project?
Plans are done all the way from the loop to Fodry is a $24 million
But
project.
that's in the loop.
That's from the loop.
Yeah, I just,
I don't have it split, but that's probably halfway or less from Billy Hicks to
If that was my
Fodry.
large project, that would probably be it, because I don't know how to drop it every
yeah, I
year.
do too, actually. So, can you help me, Councilwoman? Cause it's
I
a,
think,
because
let's
it's a
see what
mess.
we end up
It's a
with,
mess.
then we'll
It's a
start
true mess.
yeah, yeah, I mean,
We're gonna get people killed.
And I'll help you with that number. I've got the total number. I don't have it written down.
Right.
But we'll get that. I'm thinking probably 10 would build Billy Hicks to Fodry.
And it's still gonna have a problem with that intersection. Now, the intersection is what the problem is.
The intersection
It's
needs to
crooked.
be part of it.
what were you talking about, 56th Street?
56
Yeah.
and Billy Hicks.
Well, here's the thing is that when the estancia was built, did we do a pro rata on that?
Yes.
We did. Okay, so
It was,
we're also got some other things that are gonna go on 56. Are we doing the pro rata on 56?
we can, we
We have
haven't
to.
set it up that way, but
Yeah, so
yes.
before we start making commitments 100%, we need to find out what's gonna go on there, and they need a pro rata, put that in place, and then whatever's left over.
I mean, I'm not aware what else is going on 56, but,
No, there is.
Okay.
They've been contacted because
well, I
They-
figured as much.
they've been shopping that property around. So the school's going to initiate, they wanna build out a sports complex there. They're leaving the property that's split, that's, frontage road's gonna be commercial, the back
Right,
end's gonna
right.
get built out.
Yeah.
Two, they're gonna come back for us, cause there's a right of way, they're gonna need an uplift to push that water.
Yeah.
And so,
And we get back 750 from the church, and the school's already cut up 250.
yeah, and
So that's another $1 million, so we got laying
Yeah,
around.
so we
We'll
gotta,
have.
so we gotta do something about the pro rata, you know, I know you have a lot of projects, these districts have a lot of
Sure, I know
projects.
that.
And we need to try to spread,
Needs to be fair.
this is one shot that we got to be able to put some more money into here. Because I had a screaming match where I had a guy yelling at me for what, an hour about how I'm not doing a damn thing, and I'm pushing everything towards Midland, like, we're actually the ones building it. And so, there's just certain individuals in this world that just don't understand what government does and doesn't do.
Right.
So everybody sell their shares on Walmart, and everything else you have, so it's just frustrating, cause, you know, I understand
This
the
is not
frustration.
financial information.
Yeah, so we've got some projects that are, you know, will affect everybody, and that's why I'm saying you know, my whole focus is not just District 2, I'm not the at-large council person, but my concern is just Odessa. And that's why I'm willing to swap off those overpasses, because I see what's going on. And if you see what's going on, then that's just where some of the money's got to be moved, and I'm willing to do that, so.
It's hard to be equitable, it's
It is.
very difficult, it's difficult, you know, growth is going in one direction.
And so, and that's nobody's fault, not yours, not mine, it's just where everybody wants to go.
So we're gonna go ahead and, so next meeting, we're gonna go ahead and, deallocate.
Yes, sir.
And
And I'm gonna put it for 6 o'clock tonight, so y'all can consider and deallocate, and then put it back in the pile, so to speak, and then over the next couple of months, y'all figure out what you wanna do with it, and we can allocate again.
There should, if you have that list of what we had as far as capital projects, water, sewer, and road, that'd be helpful. Look for, we have a list of the bigger
I'm
projects.
looking to.
Sure.
And then what do you have as far as in the smaller ones, as far as, secondary?
I I can pull that list together and get it to Norma, get it out to everybody.
And you can also let Matt look at it to make sure things are right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
What about, do we wanna look at the, Bob Darrington? I don't think we can make a huge impact, but,
And that's the thing, if we can't, we'd rather spend this whole rest of the week, it can make a bigger impact.
I mean, I wish, the thing is that Bob Darrington that's a big ticket item.
Yeah,
You know,
But that's involved in that other project that we're working on.
we're asking her to do an evaluation. It's
Right.
a priority. So, I mean, 50 million won't even make a dent in it.
Oh, I know.
You know, we're
Right.
talking 75 maybe, maybe, at the
Yeah.
price where everything's going.
Yeah.
All right, anything else we got? Anything regarding to the finance of the deallocation of the ARPA funds? 'Cause I'm sure we have plenty of other subjects,
Yeah.
they're not on the agenda.
Yes,
Mr. McGee, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
welcome,
appreciate
sir.
it. Thank
When'd
you.
you start?
This is gonna be my third week.
Third week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little advice,
Yes, sir.
okay? Take it to heart.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be your fault, but since you're the new guy, everything's gonna be blamed on you.
Yeah, I'm already expecting it.
All right?
No problem at
I
all.
don't want your hurt, I don't want your feelings hurt.
No, no.
Everybody here's gone through it.
Yes, sir.
So Matt, we have, what, 13 months to have this money spent?
Yes.
Allocate.
To allocate
The way I
it.
was reading it, it looked like not allocated and spent.
We have the
2026.
expenses.
It has to be spent
2026.
2026.
Yeah, expenses have to be incurred by December of 2024, and then the funds have to be spent by December of 2026.
But I don't know about roads, so if time flies.
Council, let's get back on.
That's what I was
Says
saying.
we need to be on top of it.
Okay,
Let's get back on.
we got any other subject? Any other discussion on this item?
Just a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Thompson's looking.
I was just trying to find that email for you on those
Okay.
roads, that's all I was trying to do.
Seeing that there's no more business for this council, I have a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Swann, second by
Second.
Councilmember Vasquez. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
Any last discussion? All those opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passing as we are adjourned.
Gentlemen, list ought to be